Alright, guys, welcome back to the podcast where the screen today says be original, but I got it off the internet, so how original can it be? Let's get right into it. I haven't uploaded in like 3 days, and part of that is what I like to call hot streaks. So, in my life, I have this weird obsession with productivity, and normally what happens is I'll get super stoked for about 3 days, and then after the 3-day mark, kind of just drains, start being a little bit lazy, and then 2-3 days after that, I'll get excited about productivity again, and have another 3 days where I'm crushing it. That being said, the podcast was one of those 3 days, but I am back at it, and I'm a little upset at myself for not staying consistent, but that's just how life goes. Sometimes there's hot streaks, sometimes there's not. This happens a lot in my life, actually. I think I do it with everything, with lacrosse, mostly school. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I crush it at school, and then Thursday, I'm starting to fade off. Friday, I've almost completely given up. This weekend, I spent some time with a good friend of mine, and we talked about the podcast, and we talked about, was it okay if I wanted to have a big subscriber a base, like so big I could sell merch type big. Is it okay for me to want that? And what we talked about was it can be okay as long as the podcast doesn't stray away from the original purpose, being that it's for me. You know what I mean? It's just for me to get my ideas out. It's for me to figure some things out loud. And that's the main purpose. It's not really about anybody else. It's not about how many subscribers I have or who listens or whatever else. It's mostly just for me. So as long as, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, and it's probably very unlikely, but as long as I'm not distracted from that original purpose, it'd be okay if, I got totally huge, millions of subscribers. No biggie, you know what I'm saying? My merch would be super dope, sell hoodies and shit, but whatever. I mean, who's dreaming about that? Nobody, not me, definitely not me. This weekend I got in a fight. Yeah, I know. The ultimate positivity guy got in a fight. It was on a lacrosse field, so we were playing a game against Chaparral Saturday night in the Family Sports Center, Sports Dome. And me and my buddy were coming off the bench. Somebody on the other team decided to say something rude and homophobic, and I was not okay with that. So I pushed him. And I would have been okay with that, just pushing him, no biggie. But then his friend came over and pushed me, and from there it kind of just escalated. Eventually, and it took 10 seconds for this all to occur. Both teams were fighting. Got a couple good swings in. Probably a great fighter. I grabbed his jersey with my left hand and brought my right hand back, and then hit him in the jaw with my left hand while still holding his jersey. It's like a hockey fighting move that I learned from one of my friends. It was kind of awesome. I don't know why I'm bragging about fighting. It's a terrible thing to do, but I felt like I did stand up for myself, and I did stand up for important people in my life. So that's good. My parents weren't really that upset, which was kind of weird. I guess they didn't see the beginning of it, but they saw, like, as soon as it got big and everybody was fighting, like, they must have been talking or something, I don't know, distracted. And I guess my mom was like, I think our son is in a fight right now. So, but I drove home. I was pretty upset. I think I was the only one on the field that was actually upset. All the other guys were kind of excited that we got in a fight. Cool story, whatever. I was upset because I was the only one that actually, like, because I'll admit I started the fight. Because I did, I think I was the only one that felt the emotion of, like, getting mad. So I drove home pretty upset, and then I got home and I cut my hair. Yeah, adrenaline is a bitch. I went straight upstairs. I shaved my head. So that's a thing that's happening now. I don't have bleach blonde hair. I have a shaved head. Yeah, I know. I mean, whatever. Who cares? Appearance is not everything. The only thing that's important to me right now is school and lacrosse and this podcast. Being happy. Being happy is most important to me right now. So if somebody doesn't like my haircut, they can fuck off. You know what I mean? Just the same way that they could with my bleached hair. So anyways, I ended up calming down a little bit, sat down with my parents, and they were like, what happened? And I explained to them, and they were like, that's okay that you're upset, and that's okay that you stood up for yourself and other people that have to deal with that every day. Because the thing that the kid said to me was, just wasn't okay. It was the F word for gay people, and I was very upset, especially having come off a meeting about positivity and making a difference in the Cherry Creek school system. To hear that really set me off, as well as the fact that I have not had my medication in 5 days because of a mix-up at the doctor, which, in case anybody is wondering, I'm very upset about. So I haven't had antidepressants or anti-anxiety medication in 5 days, which has taken a toll on me. But that's alright, because tomorrow I get a new prescription for a week, and then I have to go in at the end of the week, or Monday next week, and get everything figured out with the doctor, which I don't understand, because last time we were in there, he was like, don't worry, you just have to call, you won't have to come in ever again. Frick you, doctor's office, making me come in. All I need to tell you is that I'm sad sometimes, and then they'd be like, okay, here's drugs. That's just kind of how it goes. That's not exactly how it goes. That was me. That was a joke. That's not how it goes. Okay, that's not how it goes. So yeah, I got in a fight. That was kind of crazy. And then that night, I failed my January resolution. I don't believe in year-long resolutions because I think they are doomed to fail. So I do it 1 month at a time, or at least that's what I'm doing this year. My January resolution was to not participate in Colorado's recreation. Wink, wink. Allegedly participate in that. But I failed because I got upset about the fight, and I haven't had my medication, and so a whole bunch of factors, and I failed, and it was fun and it was relaxing, but it was still frustrating for me because I failed, and that's okay, and I'll get back at a new resolution for January. Haven't figured out what that is yet, but I know I will soon, and hopefully I can make it 30 days for January. Maybe I can make people that are listening a part of February's. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'd tell you guys every time I make a podcast, I'd be like, I'm still going strong. Or if I'm not going strong, I'd be like, oh no, guys, I'm thinking about breaking it. What can I do? What can I do? And then you guys give me some advice. That'd be fun. Having a little bit more interactive. I like that. Moving right along. Um, Speaking of the party, or not the party, excuse me, not the party. I don't know what I'm saying. The meeting. Coming off the meeting. Friday, I went to the meeting with the high ups at the school district. It was me and 12 other kids who will remain nameless and not have any descriptions because it was a closed door meeting, but I know that I can talk about what I said because it's still in my, oh, sorry, I just got a text message. Ooh, get to play Fortnite with a buddy later, yeah, alright. Sorry, I got really distracted there. I guess that's real, guys, that's what happened in my life right now. Yeah, that meeting. So it was a surreal experience. It was the most diverse room I've ever been in, and it was interesting to be a part of. I went in pretty frustrated because I knew what the meeting was going to be about. It was about physical and emotional safety inside of the school, and for me, I don't feel physically safe ever. I at least once a period, maybe not once a period, but at least once a day, I think about how maybe I could get shot. Because after all the school shootings in the past, however year, 2 years, since the first one, the news has been chock full of it, and it's terrifying. And nobody is talking about it. At least not around me, which is crazy. The idea that so many kids can die, and it's like a 4-day things, prayers and thoughts, whatever the fuck, and then we all go back to life like it's normal that a whole bunch of kids got shot in the head. That's not okay. So it's frustrating because now I have to sit in class and I have to be anxious about that happening. I know what it's like to be in high school. I know how shitty it is, and I know how depressed and anxious and upset people can get. I know how horrible that is, and the only reason that I'm not a psycho, I say that loosely, is because I have support systems. You know what I mean? I have family and friends, and I have sports and everything else. Things that keep me happy, things that keep me from bottling it all up and whatever else. But there are kids that don't, and that's really sad. And those are the ones that are at risk of putting themselves and other people in danger. And so I know that that's a viable possibility, especially at Cree. You can get so easily lost in the crowd. People make a couple of comments, and then you decide to make a bad decision, and that's really sad. It really is that's a reality for some kids. So yeah, I'm nervous about getting shot, and I told him that at the meeting. I was like, "You want the real answer? I don't feel safe at school any day. I know that so many kids have access to guns, and it only takes one kid to get hurt, and it just has to be cross-referenced with the kids that have a gun in their house, and they can take it to school, and that's terrifying, and I'm not going to deny that. So that was the physical safety aspect of it for me. The other part was the emotional safety, and not so much anymore, but I guess, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. I still get upset by it. I am victim to a lot of homophobic, gay, feminine jokes, and they make me upset. Because I don't know why. I'm not homophobic. I don't care if people think that I'm gay. But that's not who I am. You know what I mean? I am a feminine person, if you guys want to define me. I dress nice. I have nice handwriting. I do whatever else. I have a higher voice than normal. But who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? And as much as I can say that, I do. I do care when people say stuff. It's upsetting. So there are times at school where I don't feel emotionally safe because I know that I am going to get victimized for my quote-unquote gay personality or whatever else. And that's upsetting. It really is. It gets to me. And I wish it didn't because I wish I had that confidence to say I don't give a fuck. But I do. I do have insecurities just like everybody else. And one of those insecurities is being victim to one of those comments. Because I just don't think they're cool. And obviously, it's because that person was not raised in a household where being feminine was okay, where having a sense of style was okay, having bleached hair was okay. For whatever reason, these kids have been brainwashed into thinking that it's not okay for them to act like that. And because they are insecure about their own actions, they have to take it out on me. And I'm glad that it's on me and not somebody else, because I know that even if it makes me upset, I can still handle it. But it sucks that somebody put in their heads that it wasn't okay and that you have to make fun of people who are different. But that's just how the world works, I guess, and the only thing that we can do is just not do that. Recognize our own insecurities and deal with them rather than putting them out against the world and making other people victims of our own insecurities. One of mine being not living up to my potential. I have a genuine fear of not living up to my potential, and it weighs on me every day. It is taxing every day, thinking that I could do one more thing, I could be working a little harder, I could be building myself up even more, I could be self-improving, whatever it may be. It is taxing to think that those things are plausible and I'm not getting them done. And every time that I think that is another time that I'm in fear of not living up to my potential. I think the hardest part about that is that potential is endless. Sure, I could spend every waking moment working crazy hard and all those things, but eventually I'm going to be exhausted and I won't be happy. And that's tough to realize. That's tough to really think through. For example, this weekend I just sat around and watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine and played Fortnite. And it was great in the moment, and now, thinking back on it, it's upsetting because I felt like I'm not living up to my potential. I could have been learning a new skill, or doing my homework, or whatever else, or cleaning, or helping my parents, or whatever else, and I wasn't. And that's okay. And it's tough for me to say that, because almost all of me thinks that it wasn't, and that I should have been working hard, but it's okay that I failed. And no, I'm not even going to say that. Not failed. I didn't fail. I gave myself a break. And I should get better at accepting breaks. That's what weekends are for. They should be for sleeping and relaxing and doing nonsense that just lets your brain shut off. But I often don't let myself have those breaks. And even if I do, I'm always stressed out during those breaks. They're not a real break. I'm always thinking, why am I taking a break right now? I should be working hard and I should be working out or whatever it may be. So that's tough. Is I need to be able to give myself a break and like it. Really enjoy not doing anything. And know that that's the best thing for me. Speaking of me, my other insecurity is forgetting who I am. I have a real insecurity of getting lost from who I really am, becoming somebody that I'm not. And this one's such a hard one to come back, especially being a 17-year-old, because I don't know who I am yet. As much as I'd like to say I do. I know a lot of things about myself, but I don't know who I am. I know what I want to be when I grow up and everything else, but I don't know where I'm going to college. I don't know my thoughts on Beethoven's second concerto, if that's a real fucking thing. I don't know my thoughts on that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know whether I like experiencing. I'm trying to figure out a way to say this so it's not incriminating. Allegedly, and I don't know if I believe in changing your state of mind, and I hope everyone's caught up on that and what that means. I don't know if that's who I am. Am I the person that is okay with participating in that type of stuff, or am I the person that isn't? That's like, no, I don't do that stuff. I don't do that stuff, allegedly. So that's a tough one. I feel good when I do it. I enjoy it, but I also don't know if that's who I really am. And that's such a tough one because the only way I can figure that out is to keep doing it. And the part of me that thinks it's not okay and that's not who I am, always has something to say about it. Then that's the problem with overthinking is a part of me is always going to have something to say about any decision that I make. Because if I decide not to, if I say I'm not one to do those things, then the other half of me is going to be like, you're prohibiting yourself from experiencing, like having life experience and enjoying being on Earth and everything else. So it's tough. It's tough. I don't know where I truly stand on that. So that's my insecurity of forgetting who I am. And the problem with that is I don't know who I am yet. And finally, my last insecurity, at least the one that I have written down here, is people getting mad at me. I have a real, like a genuine anxious energy about people getting mad at me. I start sweating and panicking whenever I think somebody's mad at me, because I just don't like that idea. I don't like the idea that somebody is out there saying, like, I don't like Declan, or something like that. I don't like the idea of somebody being mad at me. It makes me like cringe to my core. And that one I know for sure. That one I know for sure about myself is that's a real insecurity, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to go about wondering if people are mad at me. Okay, side note, this just came to my head. I am really enjoying this. It took me an insane amount of pushing through to get me down here to record this, but I'm having such a good time. And I wish that I don't doubt that. I wish that I don't be lazy the next time that I want to record one of these tomorrow night, Wednesday night, whenever it may be. I hope that I'm not lazy about it, because it's so nice to be down here talking to myself. I know that sounds like something fucking crazy, but it is. I'm having a great time, and it's nice to let these things out. It's nice to talk about my insecurities. You know what I mean? As much as it is scary, and I am putting this on the internet, but it's good to get this out. It's so good. It's so good, guys. You have no idea. Alright, so I think that's... Oh, here we go. Why I don't like parties. This is a weird one. And let's get right into it. Why I don't like parties. So, they're just not my thing, for starters, and that's okay. But parties giving me so much anxiety. It's all those people that I don't know in a very confined space, and alcohol is involved, and whatever else is involved. Creek has a real coke problem. Everybody trying to do angel dust, snorting it up. That is not cool. Don't want to be around that. So I think parties are just an uncontrolled environment. I like to have control over my life. I like to have control over my surroundings, which makes me a control freak, and I know that's true. And I don't really give a fuck. I know that'll be a problem I have to address later in my life, but we're moving right along. I just don't like it. I don't like not knowing what's happening next. And at a party, that's 100%. That's 100% how it goes. Cops can show up. Somebody can get too drunk and has to get sent to the hospital. Parties just really aren't my thing, man. Too many unpredictables. You know what I do like, though? I like going and picking people up. I fuck with that. Being the sober person that drives. Yeah, it's such a good time. You guys are missing out. You get to pick up drunk people and have them tell you the honest truth. And I mean honesty inside and out. They will tell you anything at free will. You don't even have to ask. They'll just start telling you personal shit. And then, as soon as you know that, you can really help a person out. Because people will tell you some sad shit while they're drunk in your car, getting a ride home. They'll tell you very sad things. And you can be like, you know what, that's very sad, but I can help you out. Text me when you're sober, and I will be on your side when you need some assistance. So I love that. Parties might not be my thing, but driving people home from parties, I fuck with that. That's a good time. That's a real good time. Especially if other people, like a whole crew in the car, go get some McDonald's. Everybody, spend $5 on a McDonald's burger and you'll get the most love you'll ever receive from somebody. They'll be so excited that you did that for them. Fries? Oh, don't get me started on fries. Them white girls love fries. Okay? Take a drunk white girl to McDonald's, get some fries, and you tell me if you have never experienced joy like that in your life before. Because it's real. It's real, people. I'm telling you. Do it. It's such a good time. So yeah, parties just aren't my thing. Uncontrollable environment. And what is a party, to be honest? Just a bunch of high schoolers getting fucked up in a basement listening to music. And like, that seems ridiculous. Let me tell you, the beer on the ground in those basements is disgusting. So gross. If you have never experienced this, let me tell you. You take a step and you can hear like the stickiness lifting off your shoes, and it just makes you cringe, and I'm really not okay with that. My shoes, man. Why you gotta mess up my shoes with your dumb, sticky beer? That's so disrespectful. Come on now, like, I brought my nice powder blue shoes into your home, and you're telling me that your ground has been soaked because of beer pong? Alright, let me tell you, that's number 400 on reasons why I don't like parties. Mess up my powder blue shoes with sticky beer. So I'll get upset about that is what I'll do. I'll get real upset about that. Okay, I'm losing my train of thought here. I just paused it so I could figure out what I wanted to say next. But now I can't remember. And it's really annoying me. Okay, we're going to think this through together, okay? Let the realness begin. People forget stuff, and I am one of those people. And podcasts aren't perfect, but I'm never going to re-record. So, let's think it through. I think I was thinking about adventure. Adventure, yeah. I don't know what, This week, Thursday, I have to do shelter building. I don't know how to build a fucking shelter. Do you? Not in the backcountry, that's for sure. I could build you a doghouse, maybe, if I had some time. But I don't know anything about shelter building in the adventure world, so I gotta get on that. 6-person leader team, and nobody's like, hey, I'll help you out. You don't know how to build a tent? I know how to build a tent, guys. Okay, I'm not that dumb, okay? I can build a tent, but I don't know what they mean by shelter building, and I'm concerned, so I'm going to have to get on that. Oh, as well as the fact that I'm supposed to be getting my technicals signed off, like tying knots, setting up elements, belaying, all that sorts of stuff. I'm supposed to be getting all that signed off, and I haven't done one single thing, and nobody has talked to me about it. T has not been like, hey man, you should probably do that, and I haven't. So, yeah, that's interesting. I wonder how that's gonna break down. I'm also supposed to be filling out a packet about what it means to be an adventure leader. Haven't done that either. So these are real problems I'm gonna have to catch up on. Oh, and college recruiting, that takes so much. The time, guys. I need more time in my life. Because if I'm gonna do these breaks where I actually break and relax, give myself some stress relief, I gotta have time for that as well. So I gotta have time for figuring out where I want to go to college, emailing college coaches, all that nonsense. Okay, you hear what I'm saying? I gotta have time for regular schoolwork. And this adventure stuff. It's a lot of things on my plate. It is. And it's stressing me out, and I'll be honest about that. I will be honest about that. So, I think I'm going to wrap that one up there. I know it's a shorter one, and that's okay. As long as I got down here and did it. As long as I talked a little bit. And that's what matters. You know what I mean? So I hope everyone enjoyed. Your code word for today is recording blue, because I am recording right now, and the blanket that is under me is blue. So recording blue is your code word. I hope you guys enjoyed. Give me some feedback. Make sure to turn that negative energy into positive energy. And if you have any questions, want to talk to me, let me know. Have a wonderful night, everybody.